The deep time story of oil. Oil, often called black gold, is one of the most influential substances in human history, yet its origin lies far beyond human time, memory, or imagination. Long before cities, machines, or even mammals existed, the slow and complex story of oil began deep within the ancient oceans of the earth. The formation of petroleum is not the result of a single event, but rather a vast, patient process that unfolded over millions of years, shaped by biology, geology, pressure, heat, and time itself. To understand oil is to look backward into Earth's deep past, to an era when life was simple, the continents were still shifting, and the planet itself was learning how to breathe. Hundreds of millions of years ago, the Earth was dominated by warm, shallow seas, rich with microscopic life. These ancient oceans were filled with plankton, algae, and tiny organisms that drifted near the surface, absorbing sunlight and nutrients. Through photosynthesis, these organisms captured carbon from the atmosphere and stored energy within their bodies. When they died, their remains sank slowly to the sea floor, creating a fine layer of organic material mixed with mud and sediment. In many places, the ocean floor lacked oxygen, which meant these remains did not fully decay. Instead of disappearing, they accumulated year after year, century after century, gradually forming thick deposits of organic-rich sediment. As time passed, rivers carried sand and clay from the land into the sea, burying these organic layers under increasing amounts of sediment. The weight of these overlying layers created pressure, while the natural heat of the earth warmed the buried material. Over millions of years, this combination of pressure and heat transformed the original organic matter into a waxy substance known as kerogen. This stage marked a crucial turning point in the journey toward oil, as kerogen represents the raw chemical foundation from which petroleum and natural gas eventually emerge. The transformation did not happen quickly, nor did it occur everywhere. The precise conditions had to be just right. If the temperature was too low, the organic material would remain unchanged. If it was too high, it would break down to gas or be destroyed entirely. Within a specific temperature range, often referred to as the oil window, kerogen slowly cracked into liquid hydrocarbons. This process unfolded over tens of millions of years, molecule by molecule, as long hydrocarbon chains formed from ancient biological carbon. The result was crude oil, a complex mixture of liquids, varying in thickness, color, and chemical composition. Once formed, oil did not remain trapped in the rock where it was created. Unlike solid minerals, oil is fluid, and under pressure, it began to migrate. Tiny pores and microscopic cracks within the surrounding rock allowed oil to slowly move upward, driven by buoyancy, since oil is lighter than water. This migration could take millions of years, with oil traveling only a few centimeters per year. Along the way, much of it was lost, dispersed, or degraded. Only a small fraction of the original organic material ever became recoverable oil, making petroleum a rare and valuable product of Earth's geological history. For oil to accumulate in usable quantities, it needed to become trapped. This required a precise geological arrangement. First, there had to be a porous reservoir rock, such as sandstone or limestone, capable of holding the oil within its tiny spaces. Above this reservoir rock, there needed to be an impermeable cap rock, such as shale or salt, which prevented the oil from escaping to the surface. Finally, the structure of the rocks had to form a trap, such as a fold, fault, or dome, where oil could collect. Without all these conditions occurring together, oil would simply continue migrating until it seeped out naturally, often forming surface tar pits or oil seeps. These natural seeps were among the earliest signs of oil that humans encountered thousands of years ago, long before they understood its origin. However, the oil itself had already completed most of its journey long before the first human walked the earth. Dinosaurs rose and fell, while oil continued to form silently underground. Ice ages came and went, mountains rose and eroded, and continents drifted apart, all while oil matured in darkness, untouched and unseen. The formation of oil is deeply tied to Earth's carbon cycle, a planetary system that regulates carbon between the atmosphere, oceans, living organisms, and the solid Earth. Ancient plankton captured carbon dioxide from the air, storing it in organic form. Burial locked this carbon away underground, removing it from the atmosphere for millions of years. In this sense, oil represents ancient sunlight and ancient air preserved through geological time. When humans extract and burn oil today, they are releasing carbon that has been stored since long before humanity existed, returning it to the atmosphere in a geological instant. Not all oil is the same because the conditions under which it formed were never identical. The type of organisms, the depth of burial, the temperature, and the length of time all influence the final product. Some oils are light and flow easily, while others are heavy and thick. Some contain large amounts of sulfur or metals, while others are relatively pure. These differences reflect the unique geological history of each oil deposit, making every reservoir a record of ancient environments written in chemical form. The age of oil deposits also varies widely. Some of the oldest oil source rocks formed more than 500 million years ago, while others are relatively young by geological standards, forming less than 50 million years ago. Major oil-producing regions often correspond to ancient seas that once covered large portions of the continents. For example, areas that are now deserts or plains were once rich marine environments where organic matter accumulated under ideal conditions. Over time, tectonic forces lifted these regions above sea level, preserving the oil beneath layers of rock. It is important to recognize that oil formation is not a renewable process on a human timescale. While oil is still forming deep within the earth today, it does so at a pace measured in millions of years. The rate at which humans extract and consume oil far exceeds the rate at which it can be naturally replaced. This fundamental imbalance explains why oil is considered a finite resource and why its use carries long-term consequences for the planet. The story of oil is also a story of patience and precision. Countless variables had to align perfectly for oil to form, migrate, and become trapped. A slight change in temperature, oxygen levels, sediment supply, or geological structure could have prevented its creation entirely. In this way, oil is not merely a substance, but a geological miracle, the result of Earth's systems working together across unimaginable spans of time. Understanding the formation of oil also reshapes how we think about energy and progress. Oil is often associated with speed, power, and modern life, yet its origin is defined by slowness, accumulation, and deep time. Each drop of oil represents millions of years of Earth's history compressed into a liquid form. When used, it disappears in moments, but its creation required epochs. As science has advanced, humans have learned to read the subtle clues hidden in rocks, fossils, and chemical signatures to locate oil beneath the surface. These methods rely on understanding the same processes that formed oil in the first place. Seismic waves, drilling samples, and geological models all trace their logic back to the ancient journey of organic matter through time, pressure, and transformation. In the end, oil is both a gift and a reminder. It is a gift because it provided humanity with an unprecedented source of energy, enabling technological development on a global scale. It is a reminder because it connects modern civilization directly to Earth's distant past and highlights the limits of natural systems. Oil teaches us that the planet works on timescales far beyond human planning, and that actions taken in decades can echo consequences shaped over millions of years. The formation of oil is not simply a chapter in geology, it is a long, continuous narrative written by life, death, and the Earth itself. From microscopic organisms floating in ancient seas to vast reservoirs hidden deep underground, oil embodies the slow power of natural processes. By understanding how oil came to be, we gain not only scientific knowledge, but also perspective, humility, and a deeper awareness of our place within Earth's long and unfolding story.